Yeah, we're going to be talking about that guy from that band today.
No secrets anymore. You've got to tell me.
So hello and yes, welcome back to another album review, guys. Today it's a very, very special one for me because we're going to be talking about an album by the front man of this band here, the Electric Light Orchestra. And that is Mr. Jeff Lynne. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard of him recently to do with his new solo album, Alone in the Universe, which has kind of brought a whole new life to Jeff Lynne and the Electric Light Orchestra and a whole new fan base. So that's great. However, for me, I was a fan of the Electric Light Orchestra quite a way before Alone in the Universe. I've been a fan of the Electric Light Orchestra for about 4 years now. I remember my dad buying their greatest hits compilation in the big HMV shop in London when I was buying the Beatles White album, I believe. And when we got home in the car, I said to him, "Go on, you can play yours first." And I generally just fell in love with the Electric Light Orchestra from there onwards. But then I ran out of things to buy from them. I got all their albums. It's like, well, where do I go from here? And I discovered that the lead singer, Jeff Lynne, had a solo album. And I'd seen not a soul, not a single person on YouTube or on the internet talk about this album. I thought, oh, this must not be very good because no one is talking. I couldn't see anyone talking about it. But I bought it and I fell in love with it. And because I fell in love with it, I managed to, inform other people, let's say, of it. And try and get other people into this album. And since then, some of my good friends here in the VC have actually fell in love with this album as well. And one of them, my very good friend Vinyl Collector James, has recommended me to review it now. So here it is, Jeff Lynne's Armchair Theatre. And also I want to give another shout out to my very good friend Ross Goodall, who I managed to introduce to this album as well, who has also done a review of this album. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link in the description to Vinyl Collector James's channel, because he's got a great channel and he's got a great ELO video on his channel as well. And I'm going to put a link to Ross Goodall's channel, because again, another big ELO fan, quite a few ELO videos, and even a review on the same album we're talking about today. So reviews to both their guys' channels in the description, both great YouTubers there, fantastic. If you like the Electric Light Orchestra, you need to check out their channels. I'm shaking your computer now, you need to check them out. But anyway, got a lot to talk about today. So anyway, we're going to go over a bit of information about the album, each track individually. We're going to mark each track individually out of 10. Then I'm going to show you my copy of the vinyl record, and we're going to mark the artwork out of 10. Then we're going to take all the scores I've given it, add them up, divide it by the total number of scores given. That will give us an overall marking out of 10 for the album. We're not done there though, because we've got to head over to the album ranking board, place it on the album ranking board, and see where it ranks compared to other albums I have reviewed here on this channel. So anyway, let's get started. Jeff Lynne's Armchair Theatre. This was his first solo debut album since the breakup of the band, the Electric Light Orchestra. It was released on the 12th of June 1990. In the UK it hit 24 and in the US it hit 83, which is just terrible. And I think it didn't do well generally because it was called Jeff Lynne and not the Electric Light Orchestra, which is a real shame because I think this is better than half of the Electric Light Orchestra's catalogue. It is a superb album, this. But anyway, it wasn't the first thing he'd done since the breakup of the Electric Light Orchestra with Balance Power. He had done a few other projects as well. He'd worked with Bob Dylan, he'd worked with George Harrison on Cloud 9. My favourite Roy Orbison album he'd worked on, Mystery Girl. And he'd worked with Tom Petty, Full Moon Fever. So he managed to get quite a lot done between the breakup of ELO and this release. But he didn't just do that, he also helped George Harrison form all of those musicians together for a super group called the Travelling Wilburys, which had two pretty damn brilliant albums. So yeah, Jeff managed to get a lot done in that space of time. However, he'd been tinkering about in the studio a bit by himself, doing a few things on his own, and he had a few songs written, a few songs left over from Wilbury's stuff, and finally decided it's time for me to record an album. And this is what we got. And it is badass. It is brilliant. So anyway, 12 tracks I believe on here to go over. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. My bad. 11 tracks here to go over. So let's get started. So the title track, the opening, not the title track, the opening track even, Every Little Thing. Now and then it seems nearly everyone has done a song called Every Little Thing. The Beatles, Eric Clapton, even bloody One Direction have done a song called Every Little Thing now. But this is an incredible song. It opens with this great drum beat, great upbeat rock sound to the album, very catchy sax gets introduced into the background as well, which really builds us up to this fantastic chorus, which generally sounds incredible. It does. The vocals are amazing. The lyrics are really good. They're just about having no secrets anymore. You know, I think Jeff's meant to be singing towards someone here, saying we can't have secrets anymore, you need to tell me everything. And yeah, this is just a fantastic song. There are no flaws in this song for me. No flaws. This is 10 out of 10 song. Then we get a track called Don't Let Go, which was originally by Jesse Stone in 1958. It's quite an old rock and roll cover here, which is good because we all know those are the roots which Jeff come from. You know, his big inspirations were the Beatles and Roy Orbison. And like all the other, you know, oldie musicians now, like Paul McCartney and whatnot, he will say that his inspiration was a lot of the old rock and roll guys. So it's great to see him going to his roots here and doing a nice rock and roll cover. And it's a very catchy Jeff Lynne rock and roll-esque song. You know, you can tell it's rock and roll, it's very upbeat, but Jeff's put his little twist on it as he does, and we know what that is after the Electric Light Orchestra. He's put his Jeff twist on it, which makes it a whole new life. It's a very unique song. It's a very good song, but the chorus for me, you know, it's not Jeff's fault. He didn't write the song, he's covering it here. But the chorus on this song is, you know, not great, I don't think. It's good. It's good. I don't have anything against it, but it's not one of my favourites. But this song does have some great guitar moments on it. It does. That's where it shines, for the guitar moments, I think. But anyway, this song here is very good. Not as good as the opening track, but I'm going to give this track a 7 out of 10. It's very good still. Then we get a track called Lift Me Up, which is one of the singles, which we can see there on the end, which has a much slower and calmer feel to it. But I love the doubling on the vocals throughout the song, because Every Little Thing was just a classic. That was meant to be the single for the album, which is just there, by the way. Forgot to mention that. You know, it's very feel-good song, that one. It's the commercial song. Don't Let Go was the rock and roll kind of roots song. This one here is Jeff being Jeff. You know, doing the doubling on the vocals, making it sound very ELO-ish. The build to the chorus is great on this track. And then when we get to the chorus, it is amazing. It really is. You know, you get this fantastic build to the song, and then when we get there, it generally is incredible. And I love this song. I really do. There are no faults with it. Again, this is another perfect song for me. So, it's got to be a 10. Then we get a track called Nobody Home, which is a bit of a different song for Jeff. The vocals are very much more raw. These are really raw vocals for Jeff. And Jeff doesn't do raw vocals very often because he's got a very polished voice. He's got a fantastic voice. We're hearing him do some raw vocals. It doesn't happen often because he generally has such a good voice. But he does do the raw vocals on here, and it sounds a bit more rocking, really. It sounds really interesting. I love the vocals. They are great. The backing vocals as well. He does do his ELO-ish backing vocals, which definitely help the song, I think, with a bit of characteristics to it. But it's a good song. I'm going to give this track an 8 out of 10. Then we get September Song, which is, in my opinion, one of the weak tracks on the album. It's by it was originally recorded in 1938 by Maxwell Anderson. That name ring a bell? Beatles fans? No? Okay, don't worry. It's a much slower acoustic song. I love the guitar work on it. It has brilliant vocals throughout it, just brilliant. Yeah, the drums are great. You know, you have the smooth drums, you know, with the padding on, I forget what you call it, the brushes. And it just feels like a nice little jazz song. It's really good. The guitar work is the standout part, though, really good. But yeah, I'm going to give this track 7 out of 10. Then closing side 1 is a track called Now You're Gone, which is really quite a sad song. It's a tribute to his mother, who passed away. And the lyrics are very raw and very sad, but at the same time, they are brilliant. I love the drums on this one, how, you know, you get the first verse, and it's, you know, it's a very interesting song. It's going great. and the song just builds. You know, the drums just kick in, goes do 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 do, and then the song just picks up a bit. The vocals are brilliant, very experimental on the vocals, I think, but that's why I love this song. This is the experimental, this is the creative song on the album, and it sounds fantastic. I love this song, it really is. This one always gets, you know, my heart going a bit. It's a very sad song. You know, hear him singing about his mum like that and put such a nice twist on it to make it a fun, energetic song, when really he could have done something very sad and depressing, like comparison like Here Today from McCartney to Lennon. That's a very sad personal song. While this is a very sad and personal song as well, Jeff's also put his twist on it to make it an enjoyable song. I have a lot of respect for this song, I do. It is an incredible song and it deserves nothing less than a 10. But now we're moving on to side 2, where we get 5 more tracks. So it's a little bit shorter than side 1, but nonetheless it is just as brilliant, if not more brilliant. It opens up with a track called Don't Say Goodbye, which was always my favourite track on the album, because it is a very easy listening song, this one, I think. But over the time, it's not my favourite track on the album anymore, but I do absolutely love this song. It's fantastic. You know, it's a very Roy-inspired song, this one, I think. Roy Orbison song inspired, which I gotta apologise, I don't know if you guys can hear the drilling, but it's like whenever I make a video, someone has to make a bloody noise all the time. But anyway, getting off track, you can really hear in the chorus, you know, how Roy's inspired him, you know, with the very, I don't know how to describe it, the very long vocal performance, the overblown vocal performance, which sounds incredible. I love it. I love the vocals, the lyrics through this song are just fantastic. Very good song. I'm going to give this track a 9 out of 10. And then we get another one of my very favourites on the album, called What Would It Take? And it is a fantastic beat. It is incredible. Brilliant lyrics and vocals again to it. It has great guitar work throughout this song again. The guitar work is back, sounding brilliant. Some raw vocals as well thrown in. Especially when, you know, he's doing the chorus, he's singing What Would It Take? Sings the line a couple times, and then he does the bit where he just kind of shouts, "Save me." And it is incredible. It's a very raw song. I think this one probably means a lot to Jeff as well. It's a great song and I love it. That one's going to have to get a 10 again. There's so many 10s on this album. This is why people need to check it out. But anyway, next track up is Stormy Weather, which is the final cover on the album. Third and final cover. Originally by Harold Arlen and Ted Keltner. That's probably said wrong, but that's what I think it is. In 1933, so another very oldie, jazzy cover. And I have high respect for this. This is probably my favourite, maybe my favourite of the covers. I don't know. It's very high up there. I really like this one. The noise is getting louder. I apologise, guys. This is bad. I should just go around the street and tell them off. But anyway, this is probably my favourite of the covers because he's really embraced the fact that it's a very old song now. And you can hear throughout the whole song people on like a stage in high heels and maybe steel-capped, nice shoes dancing. And they're doing it the old school way, like back in 1933, you know, the dum, dum, not like today where, you know, the kids just take off their tops and they throw them around in the air and act like idiots. But you know, very classy, posh 1930s dancing, and you can hear the clunk, 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 clunk throughout the whole song, and it sounds really cool. And I really love that. It's Jeff's vocals are amazing on here. It has a fantastic chorus. This is a really good cover actually, and while some songs like Stormy September song, you know, while I would have rather had you know, an original piece on there, this cover I think actually is a good one. I like this cover. I'm pleased this one's on here. Stormy Weather is going to get an 8 out of 10. I like that song. And then we get to what is maybe my favourite track on the album, and that already gives away the score. It's got to be a 10 for this one. Blown Away is fantastic. This is one which he wrote with Tom Petty, and you can very much hear Tom Petty's writing influence in here. I don't know what to say about this one. It's just brilliant. Beautiful song is the way I describe this one. It's got a great build to it. The chorus is just fantastic. It is a perfect song for me. I just love it. And then we're on to the closing track, Save Me Now, which is a nice acoustic, beautiful song again. I think albums like this have to have a nice little acoustic song on there, and I like them songs. They're really cool. I wanted to give this song a much higher rating. Really. I wanted to give it a 10. But it's a bit short, and I don't know, it feels a little unpolished compared to other songs. However, I love the doubling on the vocals at the chorus to give the song more depth and to make the chorus seem more meaningful. So I am going to give this track an 8 out of 10. It is a very, very good song. But that is it for the tracks. Now we're going to have a look at my copy of the vinyl record. So here is the cover, and I love this cover. It is brilliant. However, I do prefer the one they used for the 2013 reissue. As you can tell, it's just more of a close-up on Jeff, and he's in a bit of a different pose. But this is my original playing copy. That's my reissue. And this one here is actually a promo. So that's really nice here. I love the cover, as I say. Back cover, not too much to it, but the reissue has such a cool back cover, which I can show you. I don't know why I'm not. So yeah, I mean, well, it's not amazing, but hey, it's better than being plain white like the other one. And then you do get inner sleeves with this, with, I don't know what's on here, oh, just some of the musicianship on here. So you can see that some of the members of the Wilburys did help him out on this album as well. Like, you can see George Harrison was on a lot of the album. He performed on nearly all the tracks. Who else have we got on here? I'm trying to see. Richard Tandy, of course, is helping out in this album, which is fantastic. You know, it's great to see him working with Richard Tandy still. Who else have we got on this one? That's about it. I was trying to see if Tom was on Blown Away, but can't see his name down. But anyway, you know, it's good that George Harrison was there to help out. And here is the label on the old Reprise label. So yeah. But yeah, the artwork for this album, I am going to give a 10 to 10. I'm going to give it an 8. So don't know why I said 10 there. That's me. It's still very early here, people. It's still very early. I'm sorry. I'm going to give the artwork a 8 out of 10 here. So anyway, what I've done is I've added up all the scores I've given to the 11 songs and then added on the artwork score. So that's 12 scores. So I've added them all up, divided them by 12, and this album out of 10 is going to get an 8.8. Yes, it's an 8.8 for Jeff Lynne's Armchair Theatre. So let's head over to the album ranking board, put it on there and see where it ranks. So yes, here we are back over to the album ranking board, of course, and here is my slip. I have used the new photo for Armchair Theatre because I prefer it. But anyway, here it is, an 8.8 for Armchair Theatre. So we've already got two other albums which scored an 8.8 here. Eric Clapton's Back Home and Paul McCartney's Ram. So it's done pretty well to get up there with them two albums, because them two albums there I do consider brilliant. So anyway, I'm going to put it right next to Ram. There we go. Armchair Theatre, right there. So yes, that is it for this review, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've had a lot of fun reviewing this classic Jeff Lynne album. If you haven't heard it, go hear it. You must hear it. If you say you like the Electric Light Orchestra ELO, then you will like this album. It is incredible. It's a must-own, a reissue, super cool. This is, I would probably go with the reissue. I would, because you get two bonus songs on here, which I didn't talk about, Borderline and Forecast, which are also really good. And also, mine is one of the limited edition ones. If you could get hold of the blue vinyl one, even better. So yeah, this is really cool. But anyway, there we are. That is it for this review. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Please hit the subscribe button, like the video, leave a message. And I'll see you guys next time for another review.
But now you're gone.